There is a brand that is a very famous brand that I know that you specifically, Courts, are a fan of, and you may know that I'm a fan of drag queens. And I'm torn. This case has me torn. Patagonia versus Pattie Gonia. So I hadn't clicked. I hadn't clicked on anything. It's been going on for a while, and there's been an update over the last couple of days, and I thought, now is my time to dig in and figure out exactly what's going on between the brand Patagonia and the drag queen Pattie Gonia. I love drag. I have many wigs. I don't do drag. I don't do makeup or anything like that. But in many a video, I will chuck on a wig and put on a sassy, campy little voice, and I love it. I just think it's funny. I don't think I've ever done, for radio stunts and stuff, I've worn women's clothing. So technically I've done drag, but I haven't done drag to the length of the drag queens that go to these days. If you go to any Sydney or here in Melbourne, any bar in Sydney that's a gay or queer space, there's incredible drag queens, and obviously RuPaul's Drag Race is huge. You
haven't done the fake boobies and the tuck?
No. I've never tucked. Yeah. That is something that scares me. That's not for me. And I don't have a desire to do drag.
Yeah.
But like RuPaul says, we're born naked and the rest is drag, I guess.
That is beautiful, actually. Yeah. That is really beautiful. I have never watched an ep. No. Yeah. Haven't watched a single ep. I know enough about it. Yes. Category is.
Yeah, true.
But that is actually very, wow, I love that.
Yeah, we all just put on drag every day. We all just put on things every day.
This is my drag. Hey, we're trying to match me again today.
So this lawsuit is, I was outraged when I read the headlines. I was like, fuck off, Patagonia. Just let this drag queen be. And this is my initial thought. I was like, no, this is open and shut. This is shut up. Just stop trying to it's just a bit of fun. And then I read more, and I hate when I read more. Because then I learn things, and sometimes I learn things that aren't the thing that I wanted to back. And you know what I mean? The information isn't the one that I just naturally wanted to be on the side of. Like
all good conspiracy theorists say, question everything.
That's right. And yet a lot of conspiracy theorists I know don't actually question everything. They just question the thing that seems most likely. You know what I mean?
They question the thing that doesn't match up with the answer that they're looking for.
Yeah, right. Okay. And I'm doing the opposite to that. The answer I'm looking for I wasn't getting, and I'm like, oh, no. Anyway, so I'm going to let Pattie Gonia explain. She's put up a social video. This is not long ago, and she wanted to explain everything that had been going on, and I thought it was pretty concise.
Hi, everyone. It's Pattie Gonia. Today, I'm breaking my silence about the lawsuit that the multi-billion-dollar corporation Patagonia has filed against me,
It's great,
a drag queen and climate activist, for trademark infringement.
How many weeks is that?
Patagonia told the media they're only suing me for $1. What they're actually trying to do is to take away my name permanently and threaten me with more than $1 million in legal fees. This is not a brand conflict. This is a corporation trying to erase an activist. And this is how corporations bully individuals who cannot match their resources. Because this would take away not only my activism and my career, but also the livelihoods of the team I employ. This is a betrayal of Patagonia's core mission, because if they're in business to save the home planet, why are they suing a climate activist? Over the last 4 months since the lawsuit was filed, I've stayed silent, courteous, and worked every channel I could to resolve this without going to court. But in the end, I had two choices: the erasure of my name, my advocacy, my community, and everyone I employ, or to fight for myself and to fight for us. So I am fighting, and I'm inviting you to join me in a simple call to action. Patagonia, drop the lawsuit.
Can I say one thing?
Of course you can say whatever you want. Your name's on the billboard, babe.
I know. There's this older lady who walks the streets of my suburb, and she's a queen in every sense of the word. I see her a lot, every morning, most mornings, okay? She pushes one of those like trolley shopping things.
Oh, like the ones
you
that
know,
you pull,
the
pull
little
behind you.
The cottony ones. Yeah, but she
yeah.
pushes hers. She doesn't pull it behind her. She pushes
that's
hers
weird.
like a
Okay,
pram.
yep, sure, yep.
And her makeup and hair this morning was just like Patagonia's.
Was it?
Like, I looked at her and I thought, oh, you've gone with that wig today, doll.
Fucking gone for
Like,
it.
it was that. It was all the face. It was magnificent. And just as soon as I saw Patty there, I thought, well, she's taking tips from my neighbour here in the south suburbs of Canberra.
Yeah, of course she is. Yeah, that hair is actually glamorous. Like if I saw that walking down the street, I'd be like, fuck yes. That's so much
Yes.
work. How many wigs is that, by the way? I don't know how many wigs she's put together
They've stitched
there.
a lot together.
That's a lot of wigs being put together, but incredible. So let's just do a little bit of the history. So Patagonia versus Patagonia. So both parties, they had this whole meeting with this brand Hydro Flask. This was back in Feb of 2022 because Hydro Flask approached Patagonia before they were going to do a collaboration with Patagonia. All three parties met. They had an email understanding which was reached, which was the drag queen, so Win Wiley is his real name, may use the Pattie Gonia persona for advocacy and live performances, but not to commercialize it as an independent product line with lookalike branding. Wiley later disputes this was ever even an agreement, but this is what Patagonia have said has happened. So in 2022 to 2024, Patagonia, the drag queen, and that brand grows exponentially. 2+ million across Instagram and TikTok. Wiley then launches PatagoniaMerch.com, selling hoodies and T-shirts. And some Patagonia merchandise allegedly featured some logo designs styled similarly to Patagonia's iconic P6 mountain logo. So now, there were some issues, but there was no formal lawsuit yet. Now, this is when I went and saw this got me a little bit.
Oh, I mean,
apparently this was not sold, but this was like a bonus thing, allegedly. I don't know for sure. I checked out the merch store today and everything says it's sold out. So I don't know what it comes to. But when I look at this and I'm like, sure, this little thing that she's doing, because she went on this hike with these heels and stuff, and she did this pose, and this is in the video that she shows she does this pose. And then she goes, and that's when I, created this thing. But I'm like, oh, God, that is the brand, isn't it? Like, that is...
It's the brand.
That's
because you
Patagonia.
see that and you think that it's Patagonia has teamed up with Patagonia.
Yeah.
And look, so she says, no surprise here, I've obviously read about this
Of course.
quite extensively. I didn't know you were bringing this today, but I've read about this because I like the brand Patagonia.
Yep.
Like we have a lot of it in our house. And I like what the brand stands for. So I too, when I saw the headline, I was like, "Oh no!" I thought, this was like
not
a good-
another brand, not
another
I can't
brand
use.
that I have to like turn on." And then I read it and I was like, "Oh, they're suing for $1." Now she goes on to say that the legal fees will be $1 million. The reason the legal fees are $1 million is because she's fighting back.
Yeah.
If she didn't fight back, the legal fees wouldn't be upwards of $1 million.
Yeah,
That's
so-
my understanding.
No, that is true. So they're suing for $1, which is obviously just a nominal amount because they obviously – because the whole trademark stuff is very confusing, and I was trying to figure it out today exactly like what that means and why they have to actually fight this. So the merch site launches from Win Wiley, the drag queen Patagonia, and the merch site launches. Patagonia objects, and Patagonia's the brand, their legal counsel formally objects to the logo similarities. And that's when the relationship between the two parties fractures. That's in 2024, late 2024. So in 2025, Win Wiley, the drag queen Patagonia, applied for a trademark a federal trademark to register, do the registration of Pattie Gonia. Okay? Seeking exclusive rights across clothing, stickers, recorded music, online marketing, and the organizational of hiking and community events. Categories Patagonia argues overlap with its own registered trademarks. Notably in this, the US PTO that obviously handled trademarks, they initially determined that the application is not confusingly similar to Patagonia's marks. So they said it wasn't confusing. That's what they've said. Looking at that photo that I showed before, if that is on other merch, not just this sticker, if it's just a sticker, whatever. But if it's on a lot of other merch, because I can see why you would. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
But if it's on other merch, that to me seems like it's a crossover. In 2026, this is where it really sort of starts to heat up. This is where the federal lawsuit is filed, which is the trademark infringement. And they made the claim, Patagonia, the brand, that Patagonia, the name, is a near copy. Logo designs mimic the P6 mountain mark. Consumer confusion is already evident in social media comments. As you said, they only seek $1 million in damages. So the lawsuit is filed between January and May of this year. They're doing behind closed doors trying to resolve it so it doesn't have to go to court. They're doing negotiations. They spend 4 months attempting to negotiate a settlement that would protect Patagonia's trademark while preserving Patagonia's persona. And according to the drag queen, those talks collapse without resolution. Patagonia also claims that this is the only contact they received from Patagonia after the trademark application. There was no pre-lawsuit warning. So, which is kind of shitty, I think, from a brand. Like, this to me, it all goes back to that first interaction where they said, great, you can do this thing with Hydro Flask. We approve of that. But anything else under this, guys, no. Like, you can go and be Patagonia, you can do that, but, like, don't use our branding and don't go and sell that to other people because that's bad for us. If that's true, then I think what Patagonia has done is a bit shitty because she's gone, I'm going to go and do this with, again, that sticker. I don't know what else it was on. But if it was on other things, I could see why Patagonia...
Well, if that was across a shirt in their, like, very typical Patagonia shirt, if they had Patagonia with the mountain ranges there across the shirt, you can't mistake that was copied off Patagonia.
No.
Like, you can't pretend that you didn't copy that. There's no getting around that.
And it's so interesting because there's a lot of things that are covered under, like, Parody, right? So Parody is so interesting and like it's a real murky area because you think about like Weird Al, who's done so many parody things, and I saw in a lot of Reddit threads today that was brought up as a thing, and how certain things are okay, but this isn't. I guess it comes down to the specific brand and how they feel. Now, obviously, this has all gone public. You saw the video from Win Wiley before, the drag queen Patagonia. The company... So Patagonia says, this is not a brand conflict. This is a corporation trying to erase an activist. Which... I know it's so easy for us to jump to that conclusion these days about brands because brands are fucked, right? There's so many brands that do fucked things and they like to stomp on other people. Like, what was that?
If this was Amazon, we wouldn't really know. Like, everyone would be on Patty's side, right? Because everyone sort of hates Amazon, what they stand for. We all buy from it.
Yeah, right. Even though
we're terrible.
Yeah.
But, like, their whole like company mantra is just like money making, but Patagonia historically haven't been that type of company. So I think that's why
Patagonia is saying that like this is you're going against your own company's whole mantra with trying to. I'm an activist as well. And so, like, why would you bring me down? And I don't think it's as, like, clean cut as everybody makes it. Like, I think it's murky. I think it's very, very murky, and I'm not saying that I'm on either side just yet. Just wait. I'm going to pick one.
He's going to pick one. Yay. And if he doesn't pick Patty's side, then there you have it.
Can't
He's
be
a
a gay
homophobe.
anymore. Yeah.
We always knew it.
So we saw the video that was posted, and basically Wiley posts this Instagram video saying, I'm willing to drop the trademark application. If I do that, you've got to drop the lawsuit. I'm handing you what you're asking for. It's your move, Patagonia. This is the clearest olive branch, yet framing the dispute as like solvable. And then Patagonia responds 14 hours after that video that we just saw. Patagonia issued a public statement saying, we wish this lawsuit had not been necessary, and we want to acknowledge any hurt it has caused, especially to the LGBTQ plus community. Importantly, we continue to want to resolve this. We're laying out 3 conditions. 1, withdraw all trademark applications. 2, stop using Patagonia's logos, and stop selling and promoting apparel and other products as Patagonia. They added, if we can agree on this, Patagonia could continue as a performer and activist. Now, if you're a drag queen or if you're any online content, like I do it with my channel Rehashed, like merch is a part of the business. Without me selling merch, I don't make enough money from the videos alone. And as a drag queen, I don't know, but I'm assuming as a part of your business, you would need to sell merch to keep your company running. So Patagonia says to points 1 and 2, fine, but when it comes to not selling merch with my name on it, I can't do that. I have to keep, you know what I mean? Like I have to, there's no deal. And that's where that's the impasse that we're at today. Now, what I find really interesting when it comes to the legal stuff, like I mentioned before, I have no clue. And I'm hoping there is, maybe our channel's a bit too dumb for lawyers, but if there is a lawyer who understands trademark law, but apparently under the Lanham Act, trademark holders genuinely face a whole like use it or lose it enforcement obligation. So if Patagonia, the clothing brand, doesn't challenge Patagonia, the drag queen, who's an aligned sympathetic party, they lose credibility in future cases against other brands that try to hijack their name.
Would that also mean that, like, if they don't challenge Patty now, then Patty's brand may override Patagonia in the future, and then she could potentially go after their brand for copying her?
See, here's the thing, because Patagonia is a place, right?
Yeah, the Reddit comments that I was reading were like, well, are they going to, with the place of Patagonia and the mountains and whatever? But when I was reading that, apparently places and landmarks, they have different.
It's not a
like
trademark.
They're not like a trademarked name, so you can use it as you will.
Patagonia explicitly argue that they have had to stop real trademark infringements in the past, and consistency is what preserves that right. So they must keep doing it to have their trademark upheld, which is like fucking, if you're a brand, exhausting. How
exhausting. Imagine how many
annoying.
times they've had to do it then. If they're saying, like, obviously the other times they've had to do it, they've managed to keep it all really quiet.
Yeah.
And in this case, Patty was the one to take it to the public because they were trying to do it quietly.
Yeah, sure.
I just think, like, there's a truce that can be made where she can still have her brand on merch. But why do you have to have it looking exact? Like, don't use the same font.
Yeah, but I don't know if they are. Like, I don't know if Patagonia, the drag queen, is using that on everything, because all I could find was this sticker. So, and there's nothing on the merch store currently for me to double check there. So, I don't know. That's why I'm like, is the company, are they overreaching still a little bit? And are they not backing down because legally they can't back down because of these things?
Yeah.
Because I'm not willing to sit here and go either one is definitely 100% in the wrong. Like I say, I think it's murky.
You said you were going to pick a
I think I'm going to pick a side, a legal side. And I think that kind of gives away what I'm going to pick. Because ultimately, if you've got this business, right, and this is a business that employs a bunch of people, and as a brand, they generally do pretty good.
Yes.
If you've got this brand that you've worked for so many years, and you have to keep challenging these things to make sure that you keep that brand, then I don't see why people are so outraged by it, because the law is the law. And if the law changed, great. But if this is true, and again, this is why I would love some lawyers to jump in the comments. I think we're going to get some armchair experts. I don't think we're actually going to get anybody who really knows. But if someone does know, go for
Please.
it. Send me your credentials. I did find this interesting, though, because I remember on a season of Drag Race, there was a queen called Jan Sport who went on, and when she ended up on Drag Race, she was just called Jan. The sport had been dropped because Jan Sport is a brand in the States.
Yeah, I know that brand.
So Jan Sport is Jan is a New York queen who competed on RuPaul's Drag Race season 12, chose the name because she loves the brand, loves a pun, and obviously drag names are puns. We have to talk about that. That's very important. But you could have a shit pun. It's funny because I love drag queen names that are like really great puns, like puns on brands, or I love things like that. But I also love
Pattie Gonia is a great name.
Great name.
Great name.
But I also think like Bob the Drag Queen is fucking hilarious because
That's
it's
also very
you know
funny.
what I mean? Because it's not a pun at all. So
it's just a super mask name followed by the drag queen.
So due to trademark concerns, Jan dropped the sport from her name.
Yep.
And she shortened her name to just Jan for the show. And then like there was some research done by Jan Sport, the brand, and they not only amended the situation, but they actually came to the table for a collaboration with Jan Sport, the drag queen.
Yeah.
And then her full name was restored. So in 2024, they announced an official collab, a mini backpack, a fanny pack, both in her signature purple and faded houndstooth texture, which fans loved. And Jan Sport was like, I love that they've come to the table to do this. This is great. This helps the drag queen. This helps the brand. And it's just so sad that Patagonia and Pattie Gonia, even though for 4 months they've been trying to hash it out, they just can't get to that stage.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Like, you would think, I'm wondering if Patagonia, the brand, I'm trying to think if they've done collaborations before. Maybe they don't do that, but it seems
They
like
would
such
have
an
done a
obvious thing to
collab.
go. It seems like an obvious thing to go, well, why don't we do a collaboration together? Then your name's out there, but we're together in on this. Like, I don't know. Maybe Patty didn't want that. Maybe that was an option. We don't know. Like, we don't know what they're talking about behind closed doors.
Yeah.
I Google imaged Pattie Gonia merch. The stuff that I'm finding is not super samey.
Yeah, see, that's all I
as
could
the
find today.
brand. But I saw the rainbow one that you showed me.
Yeah.
But there's a couple of like hoodies that say Pattie Gonia Hiking Club. They have a tree on them. They're not particularly that she hasn't used the
logo.
font,
Yeah.
the same font, but at the same time, these are all from random websites. Like maybe someone's just made these. Like this
True.
could just be like a drop shipping company who's
Who
just
knows?
made them.
Which they pop up all the time. So
Yeah.
I feel weird about it because I feel like we don't know everything, but I do have to pick a side because I said I was going to pick a side.
You promised you would pick a side.
And I think I have to fall down on the side of the brand Patagonia. I know.
Homophobe.
I know.
Homophobe.
I know.
He's a homophobe.
I know. But can I just say
No,
that
I think I'm on their side too.
I don't think it's a simple case. I don't think it's a simple
No.
case, and I don't think it should go to court. I think really they should mediate this. I don't think it should go to court.
Well, I don't think that for suing for $1, it's like when Gwyneth Paltrow sued for $1, that stupid skiing thing, right? I don't think they wanted to go to court. That's why they did this $1 BS.
Yeah.
But then it gets blown out of proportion if you're not willing to fall on your sword. And that, like, the guy with Gwyneth wasn't willing to fall on his sword.
But why
He still lost.
didn't Patagonia, if it's true, why didn't they contact the drag queen and go, before the lawsuit was filed, like a pre-lawsuit thing, just go, hey, like, this needs to fucking stop. Like, why didn't they do that? I just don't understand why brands...
Well, do we know?
Well, we don't
I know that
for sure.
Patty has said they weren't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Patty said they weren't contacted, but then also Patty has claimed that there was no like trail of them saying don't do the merch stuff. But then I saw something online that there were email receipts.
Well, that's what... apparently there are receipts, yeah. So...
Yeah. So I saw some like emails going around on Reddit. And I don't know, like what is real and what isn't now. I don't know. But if that's true, then there is receipts of them saying you can use the name, but just don't do it on merchandise. We don't want the confusion.
And I get it. I
So-
get it. But also too, like, see, and I understand why Pattie Gonia is like trying to die on this hill of like, this is my brand. She's got a bunch of followers. At this stage in your career, when you're, you know, like Jan dropped the sport, would it be crazy to just drop the Gonia? You know what I mean? Would it be just crazy?
Yeah.
Would it be crazy for you to do that and go, you know what? Then I can put Patty on everything I want. I can just be Patty, just like Cher. And would that be crazy? Would that be bad branding? I don't know.
Look, firstly, I'd never heard of Patagonia before this. So great, your name's out there.
Neither. No, I'd never heard of her either.
Yeah. Secondly, Patty is giving vibes that they're not the type to back down from things like that.
Well, I guess as an
don't
activist,
seem
you've
like
got to be
they're
pretty...
willing. You've got to be pretty strong
Yeah.
on your heels about what you're fighting
heels.
for. Heels, exactly. Climbing those
She
mountains. in
loves
those
a big
heels.
heel.
I don't see her backing down. But I also don't see her winning.
Not legally.
And not legally. I think
But
she'll win some fans for sticking to her
Sure.
guns,
And
for
I think
sure.
it's great to stick to your guns, yes.
But I don't think this is like going to be the downfall of Patagonia, and I don't think it's going to be the upwin of Patagonia. I think
it
it'll
is-
just be that Patagonia probably wins
Yeah.
and Patty probably.
But maybe she
continues
doesn't
on.
if the trademark thing is true. If that trademark, what are they? What are they called? The USPTO. If they didn't think that they were similar enough, maybe that really helps Patagonia's case.
Maybe.
Legally.
Maybe true. Maybe true.
Anyway, look, we'll open it up. Try not to be awful. If you just don't like drag queens.
Tell us to do some fucking research.
Yeah, listen, I did
you
heaps of
freaking
research.
idiots. Are you guys
heaps of research on this.
Dumb idiots.
But it's going to be one of those topics that people are going to be on one side or the other, and it's so divisive on all the Reddit threads that I read today. It was so divisive. There were people who were just like, you don't understand, and then someone else was like, no, you don't understand law. So I get it. It's one of those divisive topics, and maybe the answer is we don't have all the information yet, and if it does go to court and it is made public, then I guess we'll find out a lot more. Shout out to everybody who has joined the Discord. If you want to be a Wackadoo, there is a link in the comments, and there is also a link in the description always. Who do I have to shout out? God, I love the introductions. I'm obsessed with
Brooke.
What is
Shout
that?
out to Brooke.
Yeah,
Brooks
Brooke.
made it over to Discord.
Yeah, Brooke. And Grisabella, obsessed with Grisabella. Linda in Austria. Just love it. Linda in Austria.
Love
Darth Sarah. Now, it seems like you've already picked your favorite Wackadoo, which I found.
Oh, yeah, because Darth Sarah is it Darth? Sarah who is working in the wine industry.
Yeah.
And, sorry, but that wins. Every day of the week that wins
So you
in
picked
my
a
book.
favourite.
Number
So-
one Wackadoo.
I didn't think you could pick a favorite Wackadoo. I didn't know that you were allowed to do that.
if you work in wine, you win. And it's as simple as that.
Hey, look, if you're a Wackadoo and you work in chocolate, you might actually be in with a chance to become the favourite.
Oh,
So,
shit,
yeah,
son.
that
That
could
really
really-
changes things.
It could really mix things up. Join our Discord, and there is plenty more on the channel right in front of your eyes now.